Hey there, Martin here. Lately, we've been working on some new features for the Typst web app for both free and pro users. They're now ready to ship, and we're keen to finally show you what we've got. Let's dive into it. This feature drop introduces 3 significant changes that will enhance how you write documents with Typst. Let's begin with a huge quality of life improvement. We've received many requests to improve the search and replace function. It previously only searched within the file you're currently editing. However, when your project gets bigger, it's nice to split it up into multiple files. So, we've added a new search panel with which you can find matches across your whole project. Click the magnifying glass icon in the sidebar, and you'll see the new panel with the search and replace input boxes. Your results will appear in the list below by file. If there's a replacement, a preview of the change that will be applied is shown here too. This means no more hunting down of misspellings and mismatches, or where something is defined. If you want to limit your matches to a particular folder, you can also hit the directory icon and enter the name of your folder here. Then the results will be limited to that folder. This feature joins packages, jump to definition, and autocomplete to help you edit Typst documents in a breeze. And speaking of packages, you may have already used packages from Typst Universe. These packages allow you to leverage the power of automation you write in your documents. And with Typst Pro, we are now bringing this power to your team and personal workspaces. A private package allows you to share and reuse code and assets in your projects, while a private template lets you build up a collection of document styles that you can then use in your workspace. Packages are easy to publish and manage right in your editor, and only accessible to yourself or, in the case of a shared package, to your team members. I've created a utility package with a few colors and components for my new corporate design right here. Well, and now I'm happy with that. And so I'm heading over to the file panel. There I open the Create Files dropdown and select Create Package Manifest. This will create a new Typst.toml file where I can name, configure, and publish this package. Voila, we've created one. So if your project is in a team, this new package will now be accessible to all your team members. In any other workspace project, you and your friends or colleagues can now go and do #import, then type add local, which means you will be using a private package, / name of your package, in my case design, ; the version, 0.1.0. And then we can use the components we just packaged. And in my case, I'm using them to create a private template. Let's say I'm using these to build a presentation template for my company. When I click on the Typst.toml manifest, I can choose to make this a template. Templates consist of 2 parts. They not only contain a file that you can import, just like a regular package, but also a directory that will form the basis of any project created from this template. Just like this, I can now return to the dashboard and start a new project from the slide template, just as if it were published on Typst Universe. We had a great deal of fun with this feature while we tested it, and think it will transform how you use Typst. So now that we've got private packages, but what about more private shares? So far, to share a project, you could create a share link that you pass on to everyone who should have access to that project. Then all of these people could join. But what if that link gets passed on to people who you don't want in your project? Well, Typst Pro users can now invite others to their projects via email. The good old write and read-only links are of course still here, but email shares are an additional option to grant access to a project to exactly the right people, without risking reaching anybody else. And of course, users invited this way need to confirm their email address first before they get access to a project. If your work is critical, check this out. Simply invite new members to your project by entering their email address and selecting the type of access they should have. And if your project is using private packages, we detect which ones you've been using and include them in the share so your collaborators can compile the project just like you, while other packages stay private. Before the end, take a look at the new documentation pages we've created for these features. They form part of a new set of docs we are releasing for the web app. They're describing all of these features in great detail and also go into other concepts of the web application. We'll expand these docs over time. And that's a wrap. I hope this feature drop improves your Typst experience until the next big version. And as always, you can use Typst in the web app or download it from GitHub or package manager of your choice. And with that, until next time, happy typesting.